Welcome everybody for another weekly meditation practice with Angela Swanson. For those of you joining via Facebook, there is a link in the description for this video where you can register to attend these meditation practices. Sorry, jumping to my afternoon schedule. You can join the meditation practices via Zoom. So we do have a crowd of about 7 people here via Zoom. And the benefits of joining via Zoom is we had a little bit of a chat with Angela before we got started, and we're going to be able to wrap up the end by unmuting everybody. Everybody can see each other on Zoom and ask questions or just share comments about their experience. So if you ever want to join that way, the link for that is in the description of this video. There's a second link in the description of the video today where we have a link. We cleaned up our video library, for lack of a better word, on our website. So if you click on that link to our education page, you will see all of our educational workshops, the previous meditation workshops that we have recorded. We have a chair yoga session, and we have several creative session workshops with living proof exhibits. So if you ever want to see what we've been doing in our virtual world, everything other than support groups that we record are going on that page. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Angela.
Thank you, Kelly, and welcome everyone. I'm glad that you've joined us today for meditation. We're going to do a little bit more active work before we do the sitting silent work. So if you could just take a moment and grab a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to do a little writing exercise just for a minute or so. I'll give you time to go find something to write with and something to write on. Today we're just going to process some of the intensity that we may be experiencing. The past several weeks have been a lot of very intense, filled with complex emotions, difficult circumstances, and we are all engaged in that at some level. And some of us much more directly than others, but we're all affected by it. And a lot of the times we feel like we're very distant, but the stress of the impact of what's happening in the world is making an impact in our bodies and in our minds and in our hearts, and whether or not we're in the situation directly. So this can cause a lot of internal discomfort, a lot of internal weather, so to speak. So maybe a little bit more stormy weather than the nice, clear, sunny day. And sometimes we don't even really know what it's related to exactly. We just don't feel at ease. And this can start to accumulate over the days and the weeks, especially as things just seem to always be constantly changing. Our ego, our mind, is not really always, for most of us, does not find change comforting. Our mind likes to stay in what's known, in what's comfortable, in what's familiar, because our mind is really geared to keep us safe. So we have this brain that has a very instinctual need to keep us protected, to keep us safe, to look out for things that are harmful. And so really at the subconscious level, we're always trying to find security and safety. But the truth of the matter is that life doesn't work that way, is that life is all about change. And really the most certain thing I can say to you is that there's always going to be uncertainty. So there's a lot of wisdom in knowing and believing and practicing that it's a good practice it's a good skill to be able to be comfortable with uncertainty, to get comfortable with discomfort. And that's not always easy to do because our minds are wired the opposite. We're really wired for finding the safety, finding the known. So still practicing stillness, practicing sitting in meditation is a way we learn to center ourselves within the core of ourself. We find we're connecting to the center of ourselves so that no matter what's going on around us, the chaos and the crisis du jour, that we can stay rooted and grounded and centered in the center of ourself while we're observing and engaging as we choose to with everything that's going on around us. And that's just a different orientation than being constantly involved on the edges and involved in the chaos, and then finding that to be very slippery. So meditation is really training you to learn how to stay grounded in the center of yourself. And as the center of anything, as you can imagine, if you can think of a wheel, for example, or an apple, at the center of the core of that is very still, is very solid, and that's where the seeds of your greatness lie. That's where your peace is found. That's where everything is calm, but we just need to learn how to get back there on a regular basis. And that's what meditation is helping us to do. Now, when we're caught up in the chaos of the day, it can be really difficult to find that center point of stillness. So the next exercise we're going to do is we're just going to start to vent. We're going to process some of these intense feelings and fears that keep us that kind of pull us out to the edges of our life, so that once we get them out, that we can turn in and really find comfort in the sanctuary within us. So a lot of my teachers that I listen to say better out than in. So this is a venting exercise to get those difficult emotions out. It's not like we're denying anything. That's actually very unhelpful as well. In fact, resisting and denying your own pain and fear is actually prolonging your suffering. So this is a way to acknowledge and be with what's uncomfortable, but then let it move. So for the next 1 minute, we're just going to write down, we're going to vent. It could be little things, something you're upset about, somebody in your household, or somebody says something on social media, or something that's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just whatever, if you're feeling inside of you right now that feels fearful, that's scaring you, that's causing you discomfort or pain or worry, just write it down. And don't think about it too much. Don't analyze this. It's just letting it putting all of that stuff on the paper. So I'm going to time us for the next 1 minute, and I'll tell you when to start, and then I'll tell you when to stop. Get your pen and paper ready. And for the next 1 minute, you're just going to vent. No one's going to see this but you. You can say whatever you want. Don't edit yourself. Just let it rip. And go. Got about 20 more seconds. And stop. All right, so now we've made a little more space, getting some of that junk out. And the next thing we're going to do is you can sit and do this, or you can stand and do this, but we're going to shake it out. We've sort of been processing some difficult emotions, and for the next 1 minute, we're just going to move our body and shake, shake, shake. So I'll go ahead and time us starting now. If you just want to shake your hands up above your head, just shake your arms and shoulders, and shake your head. You can stand up if you want to. I'm going to stand. Just shake your legs. And this is fun to do if you have music on. Then you can kind of dance. Just shake, 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 shake. Okay, that feels good enough. That was about 45 seconds, and stop. All right. So in just a few minutes, we've made a little more room for something else, to receive something else. We've sort of unclogged some of the pipes of our mind. And I don't know about you, but I feel a little bit better. So that's a very practical thing you can do when you're stuck in your mind. You're caught on the hamster wheel of your thinking, or you're caught in fear or worry, which happens to be thoughts about the future. So you're speculating about what might happen, and you're not therefore in the present moment anymore, but you're lost in the future. And so you're missing what's actually present for you in the moment. And what's present for you in the moment is a lot, is your peace, is the birds singing, are, you know, the fresh air that's here for you, is your, you know, your nice cup of coffee, all those things that are in the moment, that where your life is lived, we miss when we're out in worry, in the land of worry, or in the land of regret of the past, or reviewing the past. And this is just normal. It doesn't make, you know, it doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you, you know, flawed in any way. This is just how our mind works. So it's a training to bring it back on a regular basis to the present moment, where we can find our peace. Because as we will find in our upcoming meditation here in a minute, is that peace is found in this moment. So we need to learn how to be present for the peace that's here, right now. And again, when we get lost in the mind, we can interrupt that. If we're starting to notice, oh gosh, I'm ruminating, I'm lost in my thoughts, I'm being dragged around by my worries and fears, you can just remember, okay, get out of my head and get into my body. So, you know, the venting is a way to do that. The moving your body is a way to do that. And those just take a few minutes, you know, a minute or less. So those are some skills or some tools you can use to sort of hijack the hamster wheel of the mind and bring you back into the moment. And then, of course, if you can find a space and find some time, carve out some time for stillness, where you can really nourish yourself and sit in the sanctuary that's within you, that peaceful center of yourself that's within you. That's really a nourishing act, and an act of loving yourself. And it's also training yourself to make that place of peace be your normal, be your default. So it doesn't happen just when you do it once or twice, you know, now and then. It happens when you do that practice daily. You find time for you to access peace and to get still every single day. So you're training your mind and you're training your body that this is really who I am and where I want to be. And then over time, it's like a muscle. It develops and it becomes your new normal. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started with our meditation, and I invite you to sit comfortably upright with your back supported. You can have your feet on the floor, or you can have them folded beneath you, whatever is most comfortable. We'll just do a really easy practice today. It's really simple. When you're ready, you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. If you don't, that's fine. You can keep them half capped, gazing out a few feet in front of you. Otherwise, closing your eyes is nice. I will ring the bell to get us started. Okay, with our eyes closed or half capped, we just start to become aware of the sounds in the room, the sounds outside the room. Noticing what is here in this moment for us to hear. Just listening. And we'll let these sounds be part of our experience. Part of our experience, not barriers to our practice at all, just part of the experience. And then we'll bring our mind into our body by observing our breath coming in and out of the nose. Noticing the subtle sensations of our very own breath as we inhale and exhale. And just letting our breath relax our body. With every exhale, we relax a little more. So letting go of any tension we might be holding in our neck and shoulders, in our jaw, in our face. With every exhale, just letting our body relax. And our mind may want to be active as we begin to settle it down, and that's completely normal. But just let the mind do what it wants to do. We don't need to engage. We can just be the silent witness, watching the activity of the mind, letting thoughts arise, and then letting them go. Bringing our attention back to the breath if we're ever distracted. Really good. Knowing that if you can observe your thoughts, that you are not your thoughts. You have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. Now let's bring our attention to our forehead. Just let the muscles of our forehead soften, feeling our eyes soften, our cheeks, our lips, and our tongue. The ears dropping to the shoulders, the back of our head softening, the back of the neck releasing, the front of the neck releasing. And then scanning across the back of the shoulders, letting go of any tension we may be holding there. Scanning down to the middle back, the lower back, and the tailbone. Just noticing your back is soft but strong. Letting it let go of whatever tension it may be holding on to. Bring your attention to the front of your shoulders, scanning across the front of the shoulders and dropping into the arms, relaxing as we go. Noticing our elbows, the forearms, around the wrists, into the hands and out the fingers. Just noticing our upper body, sensing into the body. Whatever needs to be wiggled or moved or adjusted for our comfort, go ahead and do that. And take a nice deep breath. And bring your attention to your heart center. And we'll let our attention rest in our heart for a few moments. We'll feel our heart space opening and deepening. Just imagine that your attention is a light that's filling up your heart from the inside out. Your whole upper chest area becomes warm, perhaps a glowing light. There's an energy here that our heart is wise and powerful, that we can drop our mind into our heart and learn to think with our heart. Just sense into our heart energy for a moment and imagine that it's expanding beyond the boundaries of your body. So your heart energy is spilling into the room that you're sitting in. And it's extending to the walls of your home. And extends beyond the walls of your home into your town. It's your heart, this loving presence, is felt by everyone you meet, everywhere you go. And bringing our awareness back into the heart space. Just maybe put your right hand over your heart and ask your heart a question. What do I need right now? What do I need? Letting that insight arise from your heart. Your mind doesn't need to figure this out. Your heart knows what you need. So let those answers spontaneously arise, either now or maybe throughout the day. What do I need? And then just opening up your awareness into your body and sensing how you're feeling right now. And letting whatever wants to arise. We don't want to avoid or resist our emotions, our feelings. We want to befriend them, be with them. So with your loving awareness, with your loving attention, you can tend to your needs like you would a beloved friend or a child. What can you say to those feelings that need your attention? What assurance can you give them? What comforting thoughts can you offer? When we learn how to be with ourselves in the uncomfortable parts of ourselves, the uncertainty of what's going to happen, the fear that may generate within us, when we can be with those feelings within ourselves and tend to them with loving kindness, we're more able to be with others in their time of need with an empathetic, compassionate presence. You can drop your hand if you'd like, and we'll just rest in the heart space. We'll let a mantra arise. We'll just use the mantra today, 1, 1, 1. We'll let this mantra arise like a tune that may be playing in the background. We'll listen for it. Take a listening stance as we're centered in our heart, listening for the sound 1. Letting that charm our mind. 1. Continue listening for the sound 1 in silence while I keep track of the time. Whenever you find your mind has wandered away, simply notice that you've been distracted and come back to the mantra 1. Very good. You can go ahead and let the mantra go, sitting with your eyes closed. Observing the spaciousness that's within you, noticing stillness. We'll think of a positive word describes how we're feeling right now. The first word that pops into your head. We'll carry that word with us throughout the day as a reminder. We can always come back to the center of ourself, to the peace and the stillness that's waiting within us. No matter what's going on around us, there's always peace within us. And perhaps you can just take a moment and notice that right now, in this moment, everything is okay. I am okay. I am safe. I am at peace. When you're ready and there's no rush, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes. I'll ring the bell. You can take your time opening your eyes, doing so as it feels right. There's no rush.
And thank you again to those who joined us via Facebook Live today. Angela does volunteer her time to do these workshops with us, so we do appreciate it. And check out that link to register for future sessions. We get a lot of insight and tips about learning how to meditate in the chats that we have off the Facebook Live call. So thank you again for attending.